Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to do a full task 2 writing, and I think I looked at the question yesterday, but I forget exactly what it is, so it's going to be from scratch. And I'm going to walk you through what I'm thinking, and hopefully this will help you. So it will be task 2, full essay. All right. So the growing number of overweight people is putting strain on healthcare system. Uh, Some people think the best way. Okay, so break there. Some people think the best way to deal with the problem is more physical lessons. Agree or disagree? Okay, so I'm gonna highlight. That is what they're asking me. Agree or disagree? Um, and then they said it's the best way. Problem with that is, in order to determine if something's the best, we need to know if it's better than everything else. So really, for being pedantic about it, they're asking you to compare it to other ways. So my first thought is what other ways are there? And I would say education, diet, change of diet, control of advertising. So those are the major ways I can think of. And I'm going to say, so what I'm doing now is I'm just thinking how, if I agree, how I would argue, if I disagree, how I would argue. I'm going to disagree, and I think it's usually easier to disagree. Why? Because I'm going to argue that a comprehensive approach is best, not one single way. So it's not the best way. More physical education is not the best way. A comprehensive approach is the best way. So, what? Okay, so let me just write this here for you. This is in my head, okay? A comprehensive approach is best. Okay, now this is going to feed into sentence 1 because I'm going to say the causes of obesity are multifaceted. And multifaceted means many parts, right? So causes of obesity are multifaceted. Very simple sentence. You're going to get a good mark for your vocabulary there, and you're using obese rather than overweight. Um, Again, like some people say, you should paraphrase the entire first sentence or second sentence or the entire question. That's quite confusing. It's hard enough just thinking about how you're going to answer and explaining it than to have to think about how you're going to paraphrase this whole thing. It's not necessary. The question is asking you to discuss this, agree or disagree. And if you look at the band descriptors, there's nothing in it that says you have to paraphrase. So what you do end up writing, you're not copying these words is what they're getting at. So overweight changes to obesity, right? Now, when I'm writing this sentence, I'm not thinking, oh, I have to say overweight in another way. What's the word? I'm just writing the sentence. And I'm thinking about, if I was writing a sentence and I was like, there are many overweight people, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe I need to change that, right? But I'm not. I thought of obesity. It's an easy word. It's a word you should know for the exam, and it just fit in nicely, so that's okay. All right, now, no mistakes, very clear. That's exactly what you want on the exam. Now, the thesis I know already, I've thought about. And you notice I'm taking my time with this. This has to be accurate, otherwise I'm going to lose 25% of my mark. So this essay will argue that, and I was going to say although or while physical education is good, I can do that. While physical education is positive, I can't use multifaceted again, comprehensive is necessary. No, with one C. Now, necessary is a nice word because they're saying best, and I'm saying no, no, no. Everything is necessary. You need to look at all of these things. They all contribute. So, this is one of the words I'm going to use is contribute, right? So it's contribute, comprehensive, multi. And you're going to see, we'll do it in another video, but you're going to see that these words can actually be used in many different essays. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just have a think about, and I should have done this before, but at least if I'm doing it before the paragraph, I go back to the question again, and I'm like, what is it asking me? What's my point of view? How am I going to argue it? How am I going to structure my bodies? 2 bodies or 3 bodies? So a comprehensive approach is necessary. I think the first paragraph I'm going to examine this. And one of the points I'll make, see, I'm thinking about it before I start writing. One of the points I'll make is that the amounts of calories you burn in physical education is far lower than the amount you consume because of dietary habits, which are actually dietary habits is the only other really thing. But there's other different parts of dietary habits. So let's examine physical education first. Okay, so in most schools there are physical education programs. So I'm already saying, like, okay, you're saying this is the best way. I'm like, well, they already have them. Why do you need to make them? You don't necessarily need more of them, These programs are often run alongside, should have a hyphen, minimal minimal dietary education. Okay. As such, it is common for people, students or children, to feel that activities capable of burning the calories they eat However, child obesity is bordering on epidemic proportions. This means that I'm going to do 2 paragraphs. Because, you see, the thing is that when you go and take a look at that band descriptor video, you'll see that this requires, the question as they ask it requires a lot of explanation. And again, I said in the introductions, I don't need to spend a lot of time here explaining what's going on for my point of view or the situation. I need this space to explain my point of view, and this is where the examiner wants to see how good you are at explaining your ideas, because that's what you have to do at university. So whoever child abuse is bordering on epidemic proportions, this means that well, I lost my train of thought. It's common for children to feel that physically capable of burning calories they eat. Children are already eating excessive amounts of calories. Simply raising the amount of sport they do is highly unlikely to solve the issue, as it is far easier to consume than it is to burn. So, and again, really important to go back. Is it the best way? Okay, so the reason I'm going back and looking at this again is I'm thinking, is it the best way? And I've shown it's not the best way, really, because we need to think about diet. Advertising changes diet, education, and diet. Okay. Let's do as a result. So you want one sentence at the end of your paragraph where you explain the outcome of this. So here's the situation. There's already physical education programs. They're run alongside minimal dietary education, and the children are consuming more calories than they're burning. So as a result, there is a, not really as a result, but I would say in fact, there's a dearth of dietary education in our society. Okay, dearth means not enough, lacking. Okay, so is it the best? Now, I keep going back to this, but really it is in your task achievement section in the band descriptors. So now, before I start writing the paragraph, I have to think about how I'm going to explain best way. I'm just going to put best way at the end. I'm going to say that these are all useful, and then I'm going to say they are in conjunction. So let's put conjunction here for you. I'm going to say in conjunction with these, all right, and then therefore it's not the best way. So there are 4 major factors which influence what a child eats. I would even say 5 because you have socio-economic, family, education, exposure to advertising, and what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and child's willpower. Okay. It is easy to see. I don't really like that. What is the point? This is a nice one. Aims to address. Put it up here for you. You notice, I think there's, I just addressed something myself here. You notice that stop quite a bit and think about what I'm saying. Um, I would do it a lot faster if I was just writing by hand or if I didn't have to explain different things. Um, but when you do the exam, don't think that you need to sit and write consistently, solidly for 40 minutes. 250 words only takes 10 to 15 minutes to physically write. Only 10 to 15 minutes. So you do have time for thinking. And think before you put that sentence down. Think about how you're producing the sentences and how they fit into the thesis and how they fit into the paragraph and how they go one after another. So I'm sort of going slowly and constructing this for you as I go along. But you see, I do spend a lot of time thinking about it. And I think if I wasn't speaking, I would just type it out and it would be done. But I'm trying to show you the thought process so that you can do it for yourself. So this farmer aims to address both diet and amount of activity. It's far more effective to diet and amount of activity. Okay, and that's it. Done. So just at the end, I'm going to go back, and I've looked at this so many times now, I remember it. What happens a lot of the time with students is you read it, and then you go and you start writing, and then you forget what the actual point was, and you're not carefully checking that you are addressing that point. Um, but for sure I have here, I've checked carefully. It's an awkward, it's not awkward, but it's a difficult one because best is very strange, you know? Because if you say it's the best way, you have to discount other ways. And also the question sort of assumes there is only one way that can be used. This is the best way, or this is the best way, or this is the best way. Well, you know, it's not. It's obviously, if you do any reading about this, we know that you need to address the problem from a number of angles. Here we can look at do this as well. Oops. Address the problem from a number. Okay, good. So hopefully that helps. Any questions, you can write them down in the comments, or you can email me at jeffreycurrymiles@gmail.com. Okay, thank you very much, and good luck.